Hi, Murdy May here. Today I'd like to talk to you about watermelons. So, you can't go on social media this time of year without seeing somebody in your friend list that's posted a little picture with 4 key characteristics of how to pick the perfect watermelon. Well, when my friends post this, I always get frustrated because it's very obvious that whoever came up with that list of things did not know how to pick the perfect watermelon. So today I'm going to tell you how to pick a beauty like this one so that you can enjoy watermelon every time after getting one from the store. So the first thing we're going to talk about is ribbing. Now you'll notice this has wide ribs. And if you've seen the meme, it says, "Don't get wide ribs." Well, I hate to tell them, but the ribbing doesn't matter. Ribbing is determined by the particular variety, and while this seedless watermelon has wider ribs, it could also have no ribs at all, or it could have very narrow ribs. It just depends on the particular variety. For example, varieties like Charleston Gray or Sugar Baby are solid colored or speckled and have no ribbing at all. Other varieties like Rattlesnake or Carolina Cross have various widths to their lines. The next thing that the meme always talks about is the stem end. We're going to go over here and look at that. As you can see, what is left of the stem, there's a dark ring here, which is just dried. It's not really per se dark, and it's all nice and green in the middle. If you listen to the meme, it tells you that a green stem is an underripe watermelon and that you're looking for a dry stem. Well, dry stem means that it was picked a long time ago. When a watermelon ripens, it's still being fed by the mother plant. And that plant has to have a green stem in order to provide water to keep the watermelon nice and juicy. If that stem is dry, no water is going through. Additionally, if the stem had been left on, you can tell that it's been picked a long time because that stem will shrivel up. So either way, having a brown dry stem means leave that watermelon there because all you're going to have is an overripe, nasty mess. The next thing that the memes often talk about is that you want to get one that is round, not oblong. Here again, varietal issues come into play. Now, as you can see, this is quite an oblong melon, and I particularly picked it out because it was a nice shaped one. And given what I know as a horticulturist about seedless watermelons, this is the shape that you want to see in a seedless watermelon. Seedless watermelons generally aren't round. Now, there are round types like Sugar Baby and different types of ones that are called icebox watermelons, and they should be traditionally round. However, if you're a gardener, you know that sometimes, due to weather and things, that might not be the case. But anyways, here again, it's a misnomer because the shape is not important. What you want to look for is something that is representative of what it should be. It should be relatively nice and even. If you see that there's a big gouge out of it or something that just doesn't seem symmetrical, that's where the problem comes in. Now you'll notice here, there's just a little bit of scratching. And if I can get the right angle, you can kind of see that there's just a slight gouge there. And what that tells me is that that is where a vine laid across, and maybe as the wind blew or if a storm came in or the vines were rustled around, the little hirsute hairs that are on the vine kind of scratched it up, and that is what is showing up as the little marring here. But that is not anything to be worried about. What I'm talking about is if it were like an inch deep gouge shape, that would be covered with nice flesh, but just as it looks like something was really sitting against it. That's what you want to avoid. So, when you are picking and number 4, which is one of the things that was correct, is the belly. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. So, when you are picking a good watermelon, what do you really want to look for? Well, the first thing you want to look for is something we already talked about, and that is a nice shape. You want it to be evenly round. The second thing you want to look for is heaviness. The heavier the watermelon is, the higher the water content. And that is very important because it means that all of the cells within the watermelon are turgid, which means that they're full of water. If you have a very light watermelon, it means it's dried out and it's not going to taste good and the flesh will be crumbly. So this one, it's pretty good. It weighs quite a bit for the size, and that is a great thing. The next thing you want to look for is the sound. And that makes a great sound. If it sounds hollow inside, that tells you that there's a large dried out cavity. If it sounds very dull, like it doesn't resonate, it tells you it's underripe. But a sound like this is perfect. And the last thing you want to look for as you pick up that beauty out of the big box of them at the store is the belly. And as you can see, we have a beautiful yellow belly. This is the one characteristic of those 4 on the meme that you see on social media that is actually right. You always want to have a yellow belly. If it is white or green, leave it in the store because it is way underripe. So, to show you how good these characteristics are, it's time to do some taste testing. And I have a cute 4-year-old here that is quite the watermelon connoisseur to help me out. Excuse my camera work here while I'm trying to cut, but safety first. Just going to take a nice little plug out of this melon and give it to our cute taste tester. As you can see, I've cut a couple squares out here. And I haven't even dug into the very center. And as you can see, we've got a really great color on this watermelon. All right, little taste tester. Tell me what you think.
This is good.
Is it nice and sweet? I'll have some too. Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present you great ways to pick out a watermelon. If you have any questions, drop down below and write them down, and I will get back to you in a further video on answering your questions. And before you leave, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to my page to get more great videos, and ring that bell so you're the first to know when I'm on. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!